The sun did not explode. It did not go out. It simply stopped returning. And in that endless darkness, we did not fear the night. We feared that the light might never have existed. We never thought the end would come without noise, without bombs, without wars, just without light. It was like a breath that didn't return, like blinking and the eye never opening again. One morning, the world woke up and the sun was not there. At first, there was silence. Social media exploded with theories, with memes, with collective disbelief. It was an eclipse, an error in the atmosphere, a trick of nature. But the clock kept moving and the shadow did not relent. Hours passed, then days, and the light never returned. Humanity, out of habit, tried to name the inexplicable. They called it the annulment, the global blindness. Some called it judgment, but no name brought the warmth back. In the first 3 days, the plants began to collapse. In the first week, the electrical systems overloaded. In the second, the food reserves were looted. The cold began to seep through the cracks of civilizations. Not like a storm, but like an ongoing whisper that does not cease. But the worst part wasn't the cold. It was the desynchronization. Time, without the sun, lost its meaning. Humanity began to fragment from within. Massive insomnia, psychotic outbreaks, trance states, families who didn't know when to sleep, when to speak, when to cry. The clock no longer marked the future. Governments fell in succession. The satellites stopped responding. Screens displayed static messages in ancient languages, as if another era was seeping into ours. And amidst the chaos, a more terrifying idea began to emerge than the darkness itself. The sun had not gone out. It had been hidden. It was in the undergrounds of Oslo where the first document leaked. A fragment of a protocol called Veil. An international project led by scientists, governments, and invisible corporations. The file was incomplete, but a phrase shone among the digital noise. The sun has been covered with a total control membrane, not for protection, but for selection. That word, selection, triggered the final collapse. Factions emerged. Cities, cults that worshipped darkness as liberation, solar militias building blazing altars, burning resources to imitate the lost light. Renegade technologists who designed artificial suns, fragile, inconsistent, but offering brief flashes of sanity. And in the cracks of the old cities, they began to appear. Those who had never come to the surface. Humans or something more. Creatures with a fixed gaze and milky skin. They spoke little but walked with an ancient confidence, as if they had always awaited this moment. An unnamed old man, in the ruins of Alexandria, recounted that his people had a myth. When the sun is hidden by human decision, the cycle will have ended, and those who were first will walk among us again. The story split into echoes. Some claimed that the sun concealers were humans. Others, that they were beings from another era, another dimension. Some said the light was a deception from the beginning, and that now the truth was beginning. The truth is that the sky did not change. A dark shell covered everything, with no moon, no stars, no gap. Like a planetary eyelid, a night without blinking. There were attempts, explosions in the stratosphere, directed rays, satellites launched into the void. But everything that went up disappeared, as if someone, something, was intercepting every attempt. A perfect, invisible, relentless cage. And in that halted world, humanity began to forget. First the months, then the names, then the very idea of light. Children were born with dilated pupils, with translucent skin. They didn't know what a shadow was, because without light there is no shadow either. In a submerged city, someone wrote on the walls, "We do not fear the darkness. We fear that the light was never real." But like every human story, there was an exception. A child. No one knew where he came from. He had his eyes closed all the time, but when he walked, the sensors activated as if light touched them. They called him Photon. They followed him, studied him, and discovered that around him certain colors revived. It wasn't sunlight, it was something else, a kind of visual memory. It was said that he dreamed of the sun, that every night, in his mind, he saw landscapes bathed in gold, and that upon waking, the sadness on his face was so deep that it broke the will of those around him. One night, he disappeared, and a crack opened in the sky. It wasn't light, it was sound, like an interstellar groan, as if something enormous had slightly turned on its axis, as if the veil had creaked. Then, thousands began to dream of the light. They didn't see it, but they remembered it with detail, with certainty. And that memory became contagious, like a reverse infection, not of the body, but of the soul. Humanity, reduced, broken, distorted, began to rebuild. Not with fire, not with electricity, with memories. They painted walls, whispered stories, ignited words as if they were torches. The sky remained dark, but something inside had changed. Perhaps the sun did not return. Perhaps it was replaced. Or maybe we never needed it, and maybe we still have time. But if you ever open your eyes and the light is not there, remember this memory. And don't ask why, ask who.